Hey everybody, this is Rydo. We're back to Fear 2. Let's continue. So, hmm, finally escaped. Hmm, So we've got the rats running around again, which I don't think have any item drops on them. So smacking them actually does nothing. We now know directly that Project Harbinger is around. The idea of uh, potentially, man, they can't even hit it. Like they potentially were doing the Project Harbinger to make us be replicant commanders, as in the psychics who control the replicants soldiers, which obviously that's not happening so far, at least because we have yet to see even a single replicant even hesitate to shoot something at me. Here we have a guy drinking alcohol. This feels like an Easter egg of a skeleton. Perhaps this is the beginning of the revelation that there will just be a bunch of skeletons and dead bodies all around here. We are leaving this building, and we can see outside, assuming that really is the sky, that it's all grayish now, which that's a little bit better than the just pure blue sky or pure red sky, because it would be a little visually distracting to have a pure red sky. We did that a big boss battle. I have no idea where I'm supposed to be going. Like, I assume up is the right direction. Like, I assume that's kind of what we have to do here. Um, Either that or we're just supposed to come over here and, like, we don't have a use prompt. So I don't know how I'm supposed to open that door unless there was, like, maybe a door over there. Did I missed? There's probably a door over here I missed. Right? There's a way. There's a little bit of a platform up there. Oh, wow. So that's a fairly complicated way to just leave an empty room. Perhaps the idea was that they wanted us to walk around and listen to the conversations while that was happening. Here we have another calendar, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this is different calendars with different months on them to indicate either people are really bad about maintaining their calendars or time is moving at a completely different rate, or reality's perception is really twisted. Fairly certain I see something. Saw something over there, but we are seeing a lot of ash too, so it would totally be believable that there actually isn't anybody around. It also would be fairly believable that let's see, combat shotgun. What do we have for shotguns? Automatic shotgun. Yeah, I don't think I want to switch back to a combat shotgun. From an automatic shotgun. I think the automatic shotgun is better. It wouldn't be a bad idea. Here we can see the buildings are basically blown up and destroyed now. Yeah, if enemies started just showing up as jump scares, ghost-like apparitions. You would just see a little bit of dust or such, and then they would appear through that ash. Here we have a plane crashing into a lot of things. Things popping up right in front of our face as far as pieces of paper that seem to have come out of nowhere. Destructible environments. This is a 2009 game. None of this would have been unscripted content. Here we have another skeleton. So my guess is, if there's one technology you really want to point out has not been improved upon, like, what happened there? Was that just an audio jump scare, or was there something supposed to be spooky there? Because I didn't see anything. I swear half of these jump scares, I'm just not paying attention to the point on the screen that's supposed to be the jump scare. But we definitely saw that the character there was spooked by something. And just more intel. We're continuously trying to collect all the intel. I imagine it would just come down to a point where if we do start to have a real there's just kind of nothing there. There was just like a blur of like a blur of smoke. That's all I saw. Are we on frag grenades, by the way? We can see his heart is beating, but yeah, I'm not seeing anything. I'm gonna take a second to just turn off all the lights in my room, just so I might be able to better see a spooky thing. So that is the beginnings of what Condemned Criminal Origin started doing, is they started to have a lot more environmental sound and jump scares. Wow. My guy just seems to be completely terrified. And it seems to be kind of timer based because it's not really location based. Of course, if you're not part of that mix, then if as the player you aren't going to be terrified, so it's just you kind of easily just might want to tell them to buck up and get over it. I think we've got creepy ash characters, and you can't even see them if you slow down time. So you have kind of like mannequin-like characters that'll just puff into smoke when you walk near them or touch them. This makes a little bit more sense for them to just be piles of ash instead of skeletons, because the skeletons even now look kind of silly. Like it looks like a movie prop or a Halloween prop, not realistic. If I was gonna see a skeleton, it probably needs to have a ton of flesh still on it, or have a good reason for it to be bleached bones with no blood or anything on it. So this could have been creepy if these started to move, and in Condemned Criminal Origin you have a scene like that.
Holy shit! What just happened? I just picked up a massive energy spike emanating from the Harbinger facility. It's Alma's telestatic signature. Probably a reaction to Sergeant Becket getting away from her. She must be pissed. The bad news is she probably woke up most of the replica forces within 10 square miles.
Wonder if this is supposed to be an ad for something specific. Doesn't seem like it. So Alma is not happy that I'm getting away. So she's waking up replica soldiers. They're not making it particularly easy to jump over here. Otherwise I feel like I could jump on top of that. Not that there's going to be anything there. This is something to highlight just the danger specifically. I can't even get close enough to hit that. There's kind of an invisible wall. This is where a post-apocalyptic city works really well to make a linear story, whereas if you were to try to put in some modern ideas and make this more of an open world, it would be problematic. And even the remake of like Resident Evil 3 kind of highlights that, in that they are still doing quite a bit to make that a very linear experience, even though they would have preferred, I'm sure, to make it feel like you were actually just wandering around Raccoon City. I guess you just jump over here and then there's no turning back as a bit of a checkpoint. And then we can see a shadow of a person over there. And we have padlocks. Shouldn't let us break this. The thing here definitely is that you are going to kind of constantly set yourself up for a guess I'm at full armor too. Always going the wrong way when it does split. And so that was the guy and that was the shadow. So they wanted you to chase after the shadow and then to come this way. This is also a point where I feel like if I could turn off the heads-up display, I'd like to. That way we have less of these like visual glitches kind of meaning nothing. And we're just walking directly into one of those hallucinations again. Although in that case it was much shorter but also clearer. So we've got like a zombie guy. And so we've got a whole new faction of just straight up zombie characters. And all of a sudden he's puppet mastering what seems like a lot of other things. Alright. Alright. They seem to be tethered. We have a woman crying. Wow. Look how the slowdown mechanic just does not work. And look how my shots totally don't work here. Alright, so we are in trouble. Because this guy with the Like, that guy with the suitcase was super powerful. And I need to get rid of this automatic shotgun because obviously I do not have enough bullets. I'm going to stick with the assault rifle. See, that's kind of a shame because I feel like I could go back and get some armor. But I'm probably trapped from that. Yep. There's a wall here that popped up. Feel like I might just be wandering over some rubble and getting bullets too. I can't defeat too many of those guys on the screen at once. Had they doubled the number of soldiers he was controlling or doubled the number of puppeteers that were puppets that were wandering around, replicant soldiers, I guess this might be the beginning of an understanding of how Alma is going to have replicant soldiers be controlled. And I guess that it's going to make a little bit of sense. Let's go ahead and pick that up. It definitely is something down that way. But I'm not sure I hit it. Alright. We've got to swap out for the combat shotgun. We keep seeing these ghost-like apparitions. And over here, it's kind of nothing. Darksiders 1 started kind of like this, and then fully failed to ever really have the game play in a world quite like this, because there's a time jump, and then the time jump makes it so that you're in a post-apocalyptic world where it's then been overgrown and stops being so spooky. Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to be hitting that guy or what. He may just be a ghost. That certainly makes a weird situation when you have ghosts that may be tricking you to go somewhere, or ghosts that may just be helping you again. Like we're kind of constantly... Did he hit me, or did he just jump scare me? Yeah, that's... Yeah, I don't think there's any danger. I think the floating ghosts are nothing. Snake Fist 4. This Thanksgiving, evil gets stuffed. So not only did the loser guy who's talking to you specifically... Oh, he is taking out health. Interesting. So not only did the loser guy manage to not come up with an imaginative name, he stole an unimaginative name from a well-known movie series. It's not worth the bullets to take on the guy with that gun. If I am going to shoot him, I need to shoot him with the submachine gun. And honestly, he's just chiseling away at such a small amount of health anyways. It kind of doesn't matter. And I guess now we are getting teased that there's a robot either being run by replicant soldiers, or that is just the military still trying to fight off the
Guys, I got a
ghosts.
problem here, a big one. Genevieve just showed up with a massive armor cam hit squad on her tail. I'm sure she wants my help with something, but we're both dead if she leaves them in here. Shit, what's your location? Come to Wade Elementary on Sycamore and Highland. Oh, that stupid bitch. God damn it. All right, let's hustle. We've got to get to them before Harmacam does.
It's a little funny to throw out the B word, but okay. Like, the main girl who was the reason you were in this mission in the first place has really failed to show herself as being that evil for you to kind of be on that same level or same opinion as Snakefist. Once again, it just kind of makes Snakefist feel like he's kind of a misogynist loser. And I don't know if in 2009 that's what the writers intended for it to come off as, but in 2021, that's exactly what it does come off as, is that he's just a chauvinist idiot. To figure out which button is the uncrouch button, which is the same as the crouch button. We're going to run into, at least for a while here, some more offices, some more repeated content, but we'll see less of that when we start to get to the outside areas. This guy doesn't turn into dust, oddly, when I hit it. It took its sweet time. So I don't know if I'm supposed to prepare for a big fight. I guess the robot is the one street over. Here we've got a plane crash, which may have been that plane crash and may have been any other plane crash. We can just assume that there is very possibly more than one. Can't jump on top of the plane. But they do want you to jump through there, and they tried their very best to make that visually look right. But let's see, throw a grenade. Trying really hard to defeat this guy and failing fairly miserably. I keep throwing grenades at him and they keep not exploding. And shooting his backpack doesn't seem to really cause it to explode in any fashion as well as it should. Alright, full auto assault gun mode. Where is he? Like, I can't even hit these guys. It's just so far away that gotta get this lined up somewhat well so that I can even get the bullets to hit the people. And then I need the time slowdown mechanic to figure out whether I'm doing good or not. Seriously? I'm getting flambéed. Incendiary grenades. I'm about to die again. just unload on this guy, and it's still not enough. It's just like all over the place. Let's see, come on. See, they keep coming. And it's no wonder that I'm having a struggle, because they keep on just replenishing their enemies. Pick up frag grenades, which are better than incendiary grenades. Although neither one of them are particularly good. I feel like we could easily have an upgrade path for the grenades. Like, we are probably somewhere near the halfway point of the game, so it would make a little sense if you could increase their damage and increase maybe their blast radius. The music's winding down as I'm wandering around trying to make sure I've collected everything I can get, which I think I have. Let's go ahead and switch our grenades back to that. There's still a decent chance that we walk around the next corner and it is just another enemy. Okay, that's an interesting pattern, that they needed you to walk around here and then they, I guess, don't really want you to secretly come over here and investigate this, because there's nothing over here. They want you to go up the stairs. Fortunate, got lucky there, and both of the enemies were lined up. Let's see, am I close enough to where the grenade was? Yeah, I was too close. And there I just died, because while I was slowing down time trying to shoot at that guy, there was a grenade blowing up behind me. The good news is we are here, and interesting, they save it so that you are in the place that, in the direction you are looking. And now it's that was completely wasted. Yeah, this is really no way to go through an experience. That is no way to do that. We're starting to have more and more of this in the game, though. Just one section where things are a little tight, and I've kind of forgotten the buttons. Alright. Yeah. And where did that grenade go? Like, that's the real question. Because it seems like they basically just picked it up and Right, so he did throw a grenade. Oh man, we've got guys with laser sights aiming at us now. And in the first game, that was the really annoying part of the game. This guy is just like hitting us with rocket launchers. And let's pick that up. Let's see. So we need to be able to hit this guy and make sure he's dead. And I don't think there's any reason to jump down there. And then we are going to hop on the plane, which I guess the general idea is there if you mess that up, you would potentially have to run all the way around to get over here. Alright, missile launcher. Let's see. Napalm cannon's not that useful, so take the missile launcher by all means. The assault rifle here still I think is a weapon that we are starting to probably have to use permanently, so it probably wouldn't hurt to get rid of. Let's see. What are we equipped on right now? Submachine gun? Yeah, so take the napalm, take the assault rifle. That's probably a bad mistake, but yeah, that submachine gun is pretty useless now.
This is Griffin. I'm getting close to the stadium, but the damage is pretty severe. I'm gonna... Hey! Wait, come back!
What's going on, Todd?
A woman, there's something wrong with her. I think she needs help. I'm going after her.
Yeah, that's a bad idea in any kind of situation like this. Frankly, considering your mission and such, like saving civilians has not been an order you've been given, nor is it in line with your objectives of protecting that one lady, which, if you are still following orders, protecting the one lady who seemingly turned you all into did experiments on you is still, I guess, your focus. That's a little bit of a weird puzzle. Like, we really haven't had any puzzles in the game before. And if you just did not know that the transformer that I just shot on the power pole is likely the thing that would still be powering these cords, I guess you just walk through it and get shocked. And one assumes that that's not going to do a massive amount of damage to you, because that would be very unfair if it killed you just because you are ignorant of some electrical facts. Interesting. I shoot that guy, and then I'm jumping down this way, which, alright, we need missile launcher and not missile launcher. Interesting. That the robot just got shot and we are safe from it. So I don't know. Why is it fighting its own people. Alright. Alright, what I want is these grenades and missile launcher. Darn it. Alright, that worked.
Top, the stadium is a no-go. The streets are completely blocked.
Okay, stay where you are and we'll come to you.
Will do. We're on 4th Avenue. Cross Street is Townsend.
Copy that.
So, yeah. Okay. No big surprise there that the missile launcher lived up to its hype, and we were able to kill something very quickly. I guess there was a soldier just up there that would have attacked you. I guess there are some other soldiers that might just be around here that would have attacked you. Although, frankly, it seems like they have been almost completely cleared out. And not a lot of pickups. We are having more boss fights and fights with the soldiers and the other faction of ghostly characters, which is not really opening the door to more horror sections. I don't think I'm supposed to jump down there. Am I supposed to go over here? Yeah, we really need something that just points us in the right direction. If I go over here and I drop down here, I'm just where I was. So where am I supposed to be going? It would make very little sense that you're supposed to go back the way you came, considering we fell through the ceiling. It'd make very little sense that your exit is in this general area, because this would be the path that would have been blocked or not blocked by the giant robot. I guess we're just going down this way. I don't even see any other enemies, but clearly there are. So I guess you were just supposed to figure it out, that it's this direction. And then we've got all this electric stuff. And there was another transformer. So another thing is now safe to walk on. Of course, the big surprise would be if it turns out that it re-electrified. Seriously, are there more people this way? I'm confused as to which direction I'm supposed to be going here. Like, because It seems to me like you can go up here and climb this. Is that as far as you can go? Maybe that's it. So you've got a nice little crow's nest shot here, but that's as far as you can go because then the rest of it's broken. All right. Okay, that makes sense. These definitely feel like levels where you'd almost have teams. Hear somebody walking, it sounds like, on metal grates. It could just be sound effects though. Like having like two teams potentially fight together, one up in a high area sniping people while one on the ground, more doing the first person run and gunning. That would be fairly believable. Alright, so more junk blocking more pathways. And now they're getting a little repetitive with the, oh, you can't go any further in because we're gonna have it block your way. That was a particularly short experience, and I will say maybe slightly better with the lights off instead of the lights on. Certainly that would set the environment. In all fairness, I think Condemned Criminal Origin probably does did scare me a little bit because I was playing in the dark, and that set the mood a lot more. But yeah, I still think also that they just mostly figured out how to make sure that that wasn't an issue in Condemned Criminal Origins, because they were just better at making horror games. And this game in particular does kind of fail to actually be a horror game in the sense that it gives you so many powerful weapons and you're just an overpowered character that you know if you die you can reset. There's no fear of actually losing progress in the game. There's no fear of your main character actually dying. There's no fear at all other than whatever you put in your own head of Alma, and I just don't find her to be a particularly scary character. All the other enemies, whether they are replicant soldiers or regular soldiers or robots or ghosts or zombies that can puppet other zombies, like all those characters don't really seem like anything that's different from any other first person shooter game or any other video game in general. Let's read this and then we'll be done, even though this has really been less than 45 minutes with me dying a couple times. So we may just be rushing towards the end of the story. I suppose we should think about how many people are still alive. We've heard on the radio, and we assume that the people we're hearing on the radio are alive, and we're not just hearing ghosts. We've seen, let's see, 3 of 6 people, excluding Becket, and one of those 6 persons is driving the APC. So they probably won't play a big role. So yeah, the damsel in distress lady and Snake Fist and the sergeant. I wouldn't be surprised if the sergeant heroically dies at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if the damsel in distress dies. I wouldn't be surprised if they're all dead. But then the way each of these missions are phrased, it's going to then come down to self-determinism, and we can't really have Becket be a self-determined character that's just doing whatever he wants and making his own orders, because we don't even know if we're really playing as Becket or if we're actually playing as Point Man in Becket's brain, or Point Man's brain in Becket's body. It would be slightly interesting if it turned out that like Paxton Fintel showed up and his brain was in the Lieutenant Stokes body, and then you could bring back the names of those characters without having the character models of those characters exist. In a funny way, you could then make that almost a running theme of the F.E.A.R series in general, is that there's a lot of psychic bad guys and good guys that jump into different people's bodies. Then you can constantly refresh the graphics, refresh the looks, and have a bit of paranoia about whether you can trust your compatriots or not. Anyways, it says Lieutenant Stokes has been pinned down by replica snipers and needs assistance. Sergeant Griffith reported seeing a woman in need of help and is trying to locate her. That almost certainly means he's going to get killed by Alma, and Snakefist radioed that Genevieve Aristad just showed up at his present location with a armor cam Black Ops soldiers in pursuit. He needs immediate assistance. And maybe in a more modern game you would have a split path here where you choose one or the other, but almost certainly is still gonna, this game will be linear and we'll end up doing both or neither. Genevieve Aristad, let's see, I don't know what you could do to fix her as a character. What you might want to do is fix her by making her actually reveal that she was Snakefist using a voice changer the whole time, which would also be very funny that she'd call herself the B word. But then you could at least show that she was manipulative, but also she needs to have a little bit more nefariousness to her, and maybe you would catch that if I was reading the pickup like books that are in the game, for lack of a better description. They're dossiers / books, but in the actual main game it seems like she may have experimented on all of you to make you super soldiers, but that doesn't seem like that's even really been too bad of a thing, unless she comes off as particularly evil and says, yeah, your compatriots that died in the hospital died because they were weak and I don't care about them at all, which, okay, that might happen, but it's pretty late in the game. This would be a great point for this game. No, several hours ago would have been a great point in this game for Alma to start whispering in your ear and sowing the seeds of paranoia and distrust against Genevieve Aristad. If Alma is telling you she's using you, she doesn't care about you, she's killed your friends, if that was supposed to be the big twist, and then maybe we'll get a cheesy transformation at the end of the game where Genevieve turns into a big monster and then we have to fight her, or she becomes a super soldier and you have to fight her and a bunch of replicant soldiers. Okay, that makes sense. But as it is written, as it is actually written, she has been completely forgotten about in the story, which honestly would have probably been better at that point for her just to have been killed by Alma somewhere around the second level. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.